Hello there YouTube, Tactless Dribs here again. In my vlog earlier, which I may or may not put up, I don't know, you may not have seen it, I purchased some cold killers for £16 to go underneath my gloves to help keep my hands warm. And I said they were useless, I said they were a waste of money, but actually it's 5 degrees at the moment and my hands are fine. But I've just had an intense ride home with an Audi. That was fun. So yeah, the cold killers, they do work, but I don't think once it gets like minus degrees they'll be very warm at all, because yesterday my hands were cold with them, but today they're fine. Just a thin pair of gloves underneath. Cost £16 though. A bit of tree sticking out in the road there. They're a bit expensive for what they are, but because they come from a motorbike manufacturer or a motorcycle clothing line, they are obviously more expensive than normal gloves, so I'd probably do the same thing. But they're not too uncomfortable. I mean, they're a bit tight underneath these, but these were super tight when I got them. I couldn't hardly move my hands in them. So they're just back to being like that again. But in general, I think they will do well for me, especially if it's just like mildly cold. 5 degrees is mild, isn't it? Well, no, it's bloody freezing, but you know what I mean. I'm just on the way home from work, finished at 9, it's about 25 past now, and I'm back in Ipswich from Sudbury. Yeah, I had a little Audi fucking about with me on the way home, sorry for the cursing. So I played around with that for a bit, and at the end of the road he went that way, I went straight on, and we both said, yeah, cheers mate, good fun. He was like, what the fuck? He was like, who's this guy on the bike? I'm like, it's Tactless Dribs, my friend. Little cruise through the old Ipswich to get home. Work again tomorrow, as you do every day. Made a vlog yesterday on the way to work because it was actually daylight when I went to work, but I had the sensitivity on +2, so I shall watch it again. I will listen to what I said and sort of make it again, I guess. Possibly, I don't know. Made one this morning that I got to upload first about the old driving test that Suffolk Andy was on about, and then this little one may follow it up, since I wanted to correct myself on these cold killers. I don't know how on the way to work my hands were cold when it was during the day, it was actually warmer, but now it's cold and they're fine. So yeah, the brakes are all done now. I shouldn't have to do anything else to them apart from bleed the back brake, because I just couldn't be bothered this morning. And as far as I know, there is nothing else needs doing to my bike. Oh, flood. Oh, it's not that flooded. I thought there was going to be water everywhere. The only thing actually that I do need to do to my bike is change the coolant. That's the last thing. Oh, and the spark plugs. Coolant and spark plugs. Not difficult though. So get them done soon. Maybe if I get a couple of days or a day off work and the weather's not warm enough to ride and I think it's a bit cold. Had to give it a red bomb. There's been a lot of them on the tube lately. So yeah, so if I get a day where it's a little bit chilly and I don't fancy riding, then spark plugs and coolant can be done at the same time while I got the fairings off. Tell you what though, the rear brake was a nightmare just to get to the reservoir. It's underneath the seat, and I couldn't undo the reservoir to pull it out to fill it up away from the bike, so I had to take off the rear cone, which comes off as one piece until you get it off, and then you can separate it down into the two sides and the joining piece. But I didn't bother to do that, I just slotted it back on when I was done. But that was a bit of a nightmare. Had to undo the bracket above the battery at the back of the petrol tank just to get to the reservoir cap to take that off to put brake fluid in the thing. Not easy to work on, I tell you that. Well, Wasn't difficult, but not convenient to get to. Not like this one on the front, where you just undo the old little screw, and that's it. You unscrew the lid. No. Couldn't be like that, could it? But oh well, there we are. Coal killers work marginally, not fantastically, but they are working now, so can't complain at that really. Anyway guys, I shall see you all later. Tackler strips.